Hello, everybody. Welcome off the rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a comic book review show where we take books from the past week, recap, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that come out this week. Normally we do that. We don't have time for that right now, so instead we're just going to talk about the books that came out this past week, unless you have a list.
I do have a list.
Well, then there we go. We're going to talk about books that come out this week. I'm looking forward to it. Before we do that, of course, I want to mention this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you are watching the show live, you can use the super chats within Google/YouTube to make a comment or a question. Raise it up. We'll read it here on the show, and the proceeds go back into the apparatus that is ComicPOP. Like these fine people right here who actually said things already, like Joshy Lee, who was very, very kind to us and said, thanks for the awesome content. Have a great day. You too, Joshy. Thank you so much, man. Eat That Horse says, just want to thank you guys for being so awesome and for single-handedly getting me into comics these past couple of years. I want to thank you so much for saying that, not only for your kindness and for your generosity, but also he also said, don't know if y'all are reading the new Gwen Stacy series, but Marvel is making Gabi, of all people, the main villain. Gave me a good chuckle to go along with how uncomfortable it sure made me. Yeah, well, first to talk about what you just said earlier, thank you very much. I love when I see people saying, like, we help them get into comics.
Yeah.
It is not only, like, humbling, and it makes me feel really good about myself, but it also is, like, a big F you to people who are like, you're hurting everything. You're toxic. And I'm like, no, you're toxic. We actually help people out. You're toxic. We're like the anti-Keanu. But yeah, I honestly am not reading the Gwen Stacy series. I was like, nah.
Really?
I don't need to read
I thought
every
that cover
Spider-Man.
would get you.
Why?
Because it was cute.
Yeah, which one?
Oh, the one of her? Like the main one?
The Adam Hughes one?
Yeah.
It was cute. That was the one I saw. There's another one, I think it's Todd Knock or whatever, where she's like riding a bus.
No.
I was like, eh.
Literally don't know if that's how you
It
say
reminded me a little bit of the Spidey series, and I remember being like, oh, Harry's here, and they're in high school. But then I remember that they went to a different high school from Peter, and I'm like, oh, hey, they paid attention to the continuity. But, yeah, no, I haven't read it. I might. Yeah, but the Gabi thing makes it very, very uncomfortable. It's not so good. It's not a good idea.
Right, I don't like the sweater. I'm like getting slightly too warm. We'll see how it goes. Sweater might go back on later.
Well, we thought it was cold, but it's actually not.
It's actually not. And I was wearing
nice.
a totally different shirt, but...
Yeah, the green screen is kind of
For some reason, the green screen with that shirt, even though it was I was like, oh man, I can wear this. There's no green. It's red, and it's awesome. So then we have extra shirts here. One of you guys made this for us.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, the rest of them weren't in the office anymore. People have them.
Yeah, I think somebody took mine. Because this one's not mine. This was Ethan's.
Well, it's the same size.
I'm wearing Ethan's shirt. Take that, Ethan.
Yeah, he'll never know.
He...
So before we get into the comics, I want to mention the bat suit. That is to say, I think Matt Reeves or whatever released like a little like Vimeo, which by the way, what an FU to YouTube to make a Vimeo video and release that instead.
Well, he was like, I want to be able to actually put a video out with having to jump through 12 different hoops about whether or not how long I've had my channel or how many views I have.
That's true. Yeah.
I'll just put it over here.
You got me there. But yeah, no. So they released this like weird Daredevil-esque video that showed you the suit that's going to be, or at least like it's a proof of concept. I think it was more like a screen test of the suit where it's like, here's what we're looking at here.
What we're thinking about.
It's funny because I really concentrated on the cowl image. Right. They released two images. One was of Pattinson with his face covered by the bat suit, no ears. They cropped that out, so you can't tell if they're tall or short. My money's on short. It's usually short. They're usually short.
Short makes more sense.
Particularly if it's going with like that kind of like leather. So you're going to get a couple of things. One, it's going to like move a little. It's going to breathe a little better. Two, he can move his neck much more freely and easily.
Well, they did that last time.
Yeah, I know.
And the time before that.
Yeah. Well, with the Dark Knight suit, it was like helmet, then like turtleneck, and then he can move his neck, no problem. But he could be stabbed in the neck and he'll die. With the bat suit for Affleck, it was like, I don't know, CG or something. It looked like a hard construct.
He can't be stabbed in the neck because he's Batman.
Right.
And there's no hookers.
I mean, the reality is, good call, good throwback. But the reality is, like, I mean, the suit he wears in year one in the comics, forever, it's been just like a sweatshirt with a logo on it. Like maybe the crest is bulletproof, but the rest is just all Wayne, baby. But with this, yeah, like I thought people were gonna really gravitate towards the cowl because the nose, without it being pointy, like because it's leather, it falls weird.
Yeah.
It has more of like a homemade quality to it.
Okay.
But that's not the thing everyone was gravitating towards. Everybody was freaking out about the logo, the crest, the emblem, if you will. Because, what the hell? Number one, no little ears. like you see here.
Yeah, it's just wings.
Just wings. And I get that because it's kind of like an implied bat symbol. It's like, yo, you know what it looks like. We could pretty much we could take some major liberties with this thing.
You've seen a bat before.
Well, and they've done some of the incarnations. You have this one from '89 where they were like added a little swoosh, which was literally just V. Neil being like, "It's mine." Then you got like the Batman Returns logo, straight up the bat symbol from back then.
Right.
Then you got like the Batman Forever logo / Batman and Robin suit, which is like more like esoteric. It's a little weird, a little off brand. Then you had like the Dark Knight one where it's really really tiny. I'm sorry, the Batman Begins one. Dark Knight changed it a little bit. Then Affleck's suit, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Now it looks like it is made from a gun.
Yeah.
And everyone is speculating, mostly because, and by the way, it took people a long time in internet terminology to put together that Kevin Smith wrote a story in Detective Comics 1000.
Yes.
Where...
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, where he retcons in that he melted down the gun that killed his parents and turned it into a bulletproof, like, piece. Which I thought was, like, in the comic, I'm like, that's really sweet. That was really cool. I didn't know that Kev could write like that anymore. But, like, now that you see it, where it's like, no, I took the gun, I took it apart, and I made my logo out of it.
Well, he didn't.
Right. Probably Alfred. But yeah,
I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he like studied metallurgy.
I mean, he could be anything. He could be a concert pianist or a safecracker or a surgeon. Like he has the hands of everything. But yeah, that logo, man. What do you think? You're a designer. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I like the gun part. I'm like, okay. Like, I like the simplicity of the logo. It is bizarre to me that, considering the fact they wanted to go so simple by removing the head and ear section and the tail part of it,
yes,
that they would then want to complicate it by making it the gun.
Or giving it textures.
If simplicity was the goal, like, I'm not sure why we derailed partway through.
Yeah, I don't know either. And I think it's probably just because they don't care, and it's like, I gotta tell this thing. I'm like, it's year 2 maybe of Batman. I really, really, really want to do this thing, and it's got to be like a visual metaphor because film is a visual medium.
Sure. It's just funny because it's like this really just says like you're never getting that yellow in there,
right?
Unless it's the golden gun.
I doubt it. But I would love. I mean,
and that's why they died so easily.
We had
one shot, one kill.
Yeah, we got 2 movies with the yellow.
Yeah, but I'm
and
just saying, like,
Yellow Belt.
This just seems like it's like, no, for sure it's not coming back around.
No. I mean, all roads lead to Greece. We're gonna get there back eventually. It'll roll back. Like, did you know that in 1989, when they were thinking about making this Batman movie with Keaton and everything, before that they were like, comedy. Let's make a live-action Dragnet-esque. Remember the Dragnet movie?
No.
They made a Dragnet movie with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd, and it was like a slapstick comedy. Total bullshit. It's like, if you ever seen Dragnet, it is literally like the Law and Order of law. It's like the proto Law and Order, but without any of that bullshit with lawyers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like hard edge. I remember a baby like drowning in a tub because of like a drug addict mother. And I'm like, this is deep.
Right.
Dragnet in the 80s, herpa-derp, here's a comedy.
Right.
Batman, they were like, well, all I remember about Batman is the 66 show. So they're like, let's get Bill Murray, he'll be Bruce Wayne, and we'll just do this joke.
Right.
So like, they were gonna make that movie. And they were probably dangerously close to making that movie. So the fact that that was almost a thing suggests to me that all the versions of Batman will eventually be on screen. Like, we may see a blue Neil Adams suit one day.
No. I guess for me, it really just comes down to, like, no matter what it's made out of, like, again, like, that center section, just there's a lot of, like, detail, and it's very complex compared to the overall shape that's containing it.
Totally.
I'm just like, okay. And even the suit that, like, you see directly surrounding it, it's solid, it's kind of simplistic.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the leather cowl suggests, like, a lot of it is, like, stitched. A lot of it's, like, hand made. But if it's year 2, shouldn't it be less homemade? Shouldn't it be more complicated?
Sure. I mean, like, you know, there's like leather can be made professionally.
Well, I mean, most of it is. You know, especially if you want anything worth a damn, it's going to have to be made by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
And I doubt that, like, Robert Pattinson, or rather his version of Bruce Wayne, you know, like, summered at the Ren Fair and learned how to do leather working. But I would like to see that movie.
I know.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like the simplicity.
Yeah.
I like it kind of because it reminds me a little bit of the Aronofsky Year One era, where it was like Wayne abandons his money, he goes to a garage, Alfred's like a mechanic, and it's like a $60,000 Batman movie.
Yeah.
And that's what this kind of looks like, except for this overly complicated gun design.
Right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, it's not like that's not gonna make or break it for me.
No, it better be well written and it better have
That's
great
literally
acting.
like I mean like the suit's important because like the suit is iconic, but like as long as they have the overall like shape, like the silhouette. If the silhouette is there, you won't notice as much and it won't bother you so much.
No, definitely.
If the silhouette's wrong though, that's when like something's going to feel off about it to you.
Well, and the only reason why we're talking about it is because like this is what they chose to show us.
Yeah.
Like this is what they wanted your first impression of this Batman to be.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if that's the case, what are we looking at? And what can we derive from it?
Maybe it's
Yeah.
like the Superman cowl where he can pull it off.
Oh,
and
like
throw it.
Yes, it's cellophane. Well, maybe he could take it out and then
a batarang.
it's a bat, or he folds it and then it becomes a gun he could shoot people with.
Or
it.
it's a grappling
Classic Batman.
gun.
See, I remember, was it you who said, I wish that they'd taken that, if he'd used the gun from his parents, turn it into a grapple gun instead?
Yeah.
Because then at least, like, it's still a gun, but it's like, I'm turning it into something non-violent, or
Right.
at the very least not lethal.
That would have been
Cool.
fine.
I'm cool with either one. I don't, like you said, most of this shit,
We won't even.
I don't
like,
care.
We'll talk about it now, and like you'll talk about it a little bit afterwards. But what you'll remember most from the movie is how it was written and how it was
made you
acted.
feel.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, for the most part, like when I think back on the other suits in previous movies that we've seen recently, I think about just the overall silhouette. Of
Absolutely.
it. And then there's some details that stick out, but
Yeah.
I think overall, like. Seeing as this was more than likely just a screen test, this may not even be the final version.
Right.
Of it.
It could
It's
be that like they were like, oh, let's
don't
try.
know.
It could be that.
Let's just see how they think about it before we
right.
continue on.
Well, I was gonna say like in the committee, they were probably like split down the center about whether they want to do the gun or not. And they
Yeah.
were like, throw it on the internet, see what they say.
See what the internet says. What does the internet say?
Yeah. And like 4 people made a lot of money on their speculator videos, and then the rest of us were just kind of like, I don't know. And they're like, shit. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to see what it's gonna be like.
That's literally it. I would rather see Pattinson in the role.
Yeah, I'd rather hear his voice.
Yeah.
His Bruce Wayne voice and his Batman voice.
Yep.
I'd rather hear that.
Yeah.
Should have released an audio thing.
No, I'm glad they didn't though. Like,
No,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
Like,
oh, be scrutinized.
well,
We
because
could
think
talk
about
that.
how much is this being scrutinized, and it's just
it's just
it's just a cosmetic feature.
well, and it's like not even in the right color.
And while I don't want anyone to accuse me of like playing down the importance of the bat suit and the bat symbol, right now this isn't even like a finalized image of it, and it is a cosmetic treatment of it.
Yeah.
And we're already like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Where could this be going? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's me. Like 99%.
It's a good
of the
impression.
time.
Rescue 910 says, are DC or Marvel putting out any alternate universe books? Loved reading Ultimates and Earth 2 because they were affected by company politics. Yeah, man, there's a book called Marvel's X right now. It's a prequel to Earth X. You can check that out. It's a 6-issue miniseries. I guess I could talk about that for a second.
Well, I'd say also the Black Label books.
Label books
by DC are definitely.
But I think they are going to start being in continuity.
Well, they weren't up until this point, so I still hold true.
I know,
to it.
but I'm saying like watch out because they're going to start becoming in continuity because once they switch all the Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman characters, people are going to look for a reason to jump ship, and DC's going to give them a life preserver in the form of like Black Label books starring their favorite versions of those characters.
Cool.
I guarantee you that'll happen. Marvel's X is a pretty good book. It's a prequel to Earth X. It's fun.
Okay.
The art's good. It's very much just a prequel to Earth X, without all that Paradise stuff. It's pretty good. That's all I'll say. I mean,
Okay.
It was just like, my only critique of the book is it just stops. Like it's issue 2 of 6, and like clearly they just couldn't. He wanted a double length issue, or I don't know. It just. There's no ending to the issue. There's no like cliffhanger or like finality. It just stops.
Okay.
It's like in mid-page it stops. It's just kind of weird. It's clunky.
Okay.
But
Maybe it'll probably read better as a trade then.
Of course. No, Earth X was
And
never meant to be read.
I was gonna say maybe that's
individually.
exactly what it is. They put it out so they get this.
They
2
wrote it as a
bites,
trade, and they
you
were like,
know?
just split it up. Yeah. But Johnny Blaze was fun. We talked about him in Earth X or Marvel's X1. Where Johnny Blaze is a truck driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drives this kid into the Lincoln Tunnel and then like goes ablaze to burn off all the mutant Morlocks that are coming at them.
Yeah.
And the kid like just freaks out and bails. And then he calls Daredevil and he's like, "Hey, go get this kid. He's probably the only normal person left on Earth." It's cool, but he's like, "Hey." Whoosh.
I probably should have told you.
Yeah, he didn't. Well, like everyone
just-
acts like everyone in this book acts like a moron.
Just should have been like, close your eyes, kid.
Yeah.
Don't open them.
He doesn't. He didn't even try.
Don't open
He doesn't even try, but then he gets like confused. And this kid is also like a big Marvel fan, but he's also a moron. Like everyone's an idiot in this book, but everyone was an idiot in Earth X too, so you might as well enjoy it.
Okay.
So that was the thing. I don't want to waste time talking about it though.
Sure.
It was fine.
Okay.
But yeah, what else do you want to talk about? What was big this week?
What was big?
I mean, you know, there wasn't a huge amount of stuff. I will say.
I read a few things.
You
though.
did.
I
You
read,
did.
Most everything I read was Marvel, but go ahead.
Yeah, me too. I read Amazing Spider-Man number 39, I think, from Spencer and Coelho. It involves basically it's continuing yet another plot that nobody asked for from Nick Spencer, where Nick Spencer's like, I got a million ideas. How about I do them all right now? Like right now. Hey, you're all really interested in this Kindred thing. How about I pump the brakes on that and like tie in with Absolute Carnage? Or how about I do this Kraven Last Hunt thing? Or how about I do this? Or how about I do that? Like how about 2099? How about that? And it's like nobody cares.
Well, maybe it's also like he wants to be able to come back to something. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we're gonna get there.
Oh yeah, no, and it should be. It probably is like the linchpin of the entire series.
Sure.
This is just kind of like fun. You know, Winter strong arms Jameson into joining her internet startup. I love, and this happens a lot in Marvel, Marvel's idea of what like a startup is and how it's run and how like people can create them is like really tone deaf and fascinating. They just have no idea like how to start a company. Like, and they have no idea what it takes. It's just like they think if you have like a fun logo and a boatload of gumption, that you're ready to go and you can just start. And it's like, who are these people? How is Nora Winters able to afford it? Like, ad revenue doesn't make that much. Like, and I get like, you know, whatever realism in comics,
Well,
but it's
maybe she got some
a
funding.
grant from whom?
The internet.
Right? What? Maybe she kickstarted it. That'd be kind of fun.
Maybe her parents are wealthy.
Right. I don't remember, but like they basically strong-armed Jonah into getting into starting a podcast on their network. Jonah outs the fact that Spider-Man was working with his sister on some kind of like covert ex-Shield operative or operation. And so Spider-Man like feels like a jackass and he yells at Jonah about it and then agrees to be on Jonah's podcast to feel like, you know, to kind of like make up for being an asshole to him. He goes on the show and, you know, Spider-Man and Jonah have like a back and forth in this new era. Like it would be amazing to see, and you saw it already, Zdarsky did it in his Spectacular Spider-Man run, where like I think Jonah literally had Spider-Man on a podcast and it like broke down and became this like cathartic episode story where at the end of it Spider-Man reveals his identity to him. So we're kind of doing that again, and that's basically this. It's just it happens again. There's also a subplot, or the main plot of the antagonist side of it is that, remember Chance? Well, Chance is a floating casino or whatever, and they bet on things that happen in the Marvel universe. So he tricks the Foreigner into like taking a bet, and then Foreigner tricks him into taking a bet. It's a lot of like, I don't know, it's fun, I guess. It's like, here it is, you know. Like, if you like this kind of thing, then it's yours for the taking. If you think this is like not important or interesting, then like this will do nothing to dissuade you of that. I will say that like the art is really good, and the interactions between Spider-Man and Jameson are welcome and fun. Like, it's just that I don't care like a lot about what's happening.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just something where I'm like, I just can't care about this. And like, so cue the guy who always like gives us bad reviews on my podcast, but like, I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's great, her. Like, also, just because it wasn't poorly made doesn't mean that it's brilliant or terrific literature. Like it. And I'm not a liar or a moron, so I'm not gonna like pretend. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
That's fair.
We read weekly fictional serialized stories. They're not all gonna be high art, but I promise you there are a few that are. This was not.
That's fair.
The cover was the best thing about this issue. And it's unfortunate because like it only works because of your nostalgia.
Right.
You remember that Spider-Man and Jameson butt heads.
Yeah.
But in this current story, in this current continuity and status quo, you're just like reminded about better stories. And that's all I could say. The art's pretty good. and the cover is excellent. That's it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm sorry. Bilbo Dabbins, 361 Ruiz, says, just wanted to give what I could, loving everything. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
And I'm loving your net handle. Eat that horse. The suit is a big blob of meh for me. We all know the film's true test of quality will be whether or not he gets stabbed by a hooker.
Yes.
I feel like he will.
He might.
Heartless Fang has some love in the form of money.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Austin Savastano says, here's some money. You guys keep me entertained while I'm on the treadmill. Excellent.
Hey, good for you.
That's where I should be.
Honestly.
They can roll out Pattinson in a paper bag as long as the writing is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Right?
I mean, I would like him to look like Batman. And the fake Grant Morrison busting out saying, can't stay for the live show, but wanted to pop in and say the life story back issues was absolutely wonderful. Heart. Thank you very much for your generosity. Thanks for checking out the episode. We had a lot of fun making it, and hopefully you enjoyed watching it.
He could be Bagman. He'd be Bagman the animated series.
Yeah, I would love to get some more Bagman spin-outs from that. But yeah, anyway, that was Spider-Man.
Okay.
It was a thing.
Spider-Man was the thing.
Yeah. What'd you read?
Thor.
You read a lot of stuff.
I read Thor #3.
Yes, you did.
I just been reading Thor. I don't know why.
I've just been reading Thor.
Well, because, like, other than reading, like, King Thor,
Right.
I wasn't reading Thor. And then, like, you know, it was like, oh, we're starting over with Donny Cates. I guess I'll
get into it.
I guess I'll check it out.
I mean, why not, right?
So I've been checking it out.
So I have.
This issue is literally a fight between Thor and Beta Ray Bill, the end.
Uh-huh.
It's
I remember
like,
it was set up in the last issue.
There's like something kind of classic about what's happening in the issue where it's just like, hey, Thor's helping out Galactus for a very specific reason, but Beta Ray Bill's mad at him for doing that, and Thor doesn't explain it to him immediately, and then by the time he does, tension's already too high, and so a fight breaks out.
Yes. That's
like,
a classic.
Very classic mistakes. Very like Thor being verbose and like, you know, obviously too high on his pedestal there, like being Thor, being, you know, All-Father, having cosmic power on top of all
a lot
of
going
that.
on with Thor.
Like, so like he's just like, yeah, no, like you're not gonna go through me. I'm gonna go through you, basically, unless you get out of my way. It's that kind of crap.
Totally.
There's like a part at the beginning where Cates is like talking about how like kind of putting it all into perspective for us, where it's just like, you know, Thor fought a war for 2 years without food or water or sleep, and he just fought it. And if you asked him who it was he was fighting, he couldn't tell you because he doesn't remember. Because for an eternal god, 2 years is like a few minutes.
Sure.
And I was like, got it, fine. Like, you're trying to, like...
That's cool.
Yeah, like, I get what Cates is doing. He's 100% putting us into the perspective of Thor being a god. Like, don't forget that. He's not just a dude. He's not just a hero. Like, you know what I mean?
He's
like,
a god.
He's a god. And so, like, his perspective on things is a little different. So he runs into Beta Ray Bill, and Beta Ray Bill's like, Brother, forsooth, something hath happened to you.
Yeah.
And, like, you're working with Galactus here, so obviously he's got you in some sort of thrall, so I will...
No, it's not.
He's like, I'm not gonna leave until I help you, or until I fix this. Don't worry, I'll save you.
Don't worry. And it's like, no, I don't...
So, like, Beta Ray Bill explains everything he's going to do, and then finally Thor gets into it, and then, like, he's like... But Beta Ray Bill doesn't, like, get it, because, like, Thor doesn't also explain what the Black Winter is, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't, like, really put it into context at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, why? Like, why?
Because then the book happens.
Right? But the book is literally just a fight between the two of them yelling at each other.
So it's like, why don't you yell something that will help?
Right, and then Thor ends up, like, giving his cosmic power, like, putting it away for a second.
Okay.
And being like, see, Beta Ray Bill, it's just me. Like,
right.
It's just me. I'm not, like, Galactus is in charge of me. And Galactus is like, but I am in charge of you. I gave you that power.
Right.
I gave you that. And, like, Thor's like, shut up.
Yeah, you're not helping.
You didn't give me this. So he, like, attacks Galactus, too. And, like, he's like, sit down, Galactus. Like, Thor's just bullying everybody in this issue. And then, inevitably, he, like, throws his hammer at Beta Ray Bill, and Beta Ray Bill catches it, and then, like, is hanging on to it, and, like, Thor's like, I'm gonna pull it back, and it's nothing in this universe can stop it from coming.
Right. Unless, like, Nick Fury whispers in my ear.
Right, but he's not gonna, and it's like, it's gonna take your arm with it.
Right.
Like, you really want that? You want...
And Bill's like, I believe in it so hard, I will. So he loses his arm.
No!
Okay, good.
No, and instead, like, Bill doesn't give him the hammer back, and he's just like, fine, I'll use a different one. And he calls Stormbreaker to him. Then he takes Stormbreaker and he hits it against Mjolnir, thus breaking Stormbreaker.
Oh.
And, like, he's just like, fuck you. Not to curse on the channel, but it's very much what it felt like. Thor's like, shut up. And then a rainbow comes down. And Sif shows up and is like, what the hell?
What's going on here?
And now Sif's gonna fight Thor. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh my god. That's rough.
Wasn't this about them going around the universe and Thor having to learn a lesson about whatever and defeat what's coming?
No, it's about Thor saying, I know better than you.
I guess that's what it is.
Okay.
So, like, Sif shows up and she's just like, she's basically like, I've seen enough. Sorry, Thor, but there's only one way, and it's through. And I'm like, that was the message in the last one.
Yeah, we just literally did that. That just made me think, I want to read a Thor book. Like, you know how, like, after Kate's run, it's like, what are you going to do? Where you go with Thor?
Yeah.
Just you know, Thor's on the Avengers, and Aaron can write about him over there. Make it a Beta Ray Bill book.
I'm with you. I feel like if you wanted to tell this story, if we didn't know why Thor was working for Galactus.
Right. That would have been cool.
This makes more sense. It's like, what the hell is going
on? Who are we rooting for? What do we know?
Exactly. Like, if we're discovering things along with the characters who are challenging Thor, then it makes more sense. But I already know.
Yeah,
and
Thor's
like,
right, so it's like Thor just being an asshole about it.
I kind of.
And being cagey for no reason.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I would rather, I think, like, at this point, it's time for a Beta Ray Bill book. Like, if you want to read about Thor, because, I mean, like, here's the thing. No one's going to do anything original with Thor anymore. Like, no one's going to be like, okay, so I'm thinking I'm just going to do, like, Walton Simonson's run on Thor. Or my own version of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. We got to do, like, it's Thor, but, like, I'm in an improv troupe. Yes, and? Thor and? I think what they're going to do is, like, just make a Beta Ray Bill book.
Yeah.
So you can just have Thor. Because, like, Beta Ray Bill has more honor in his left bicep than Thor has in his entire, like, 12-issue run.
Yeah.
So, you know, be kind of cool.
So.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm going to still keep checking this out because I'm like,
when you like
I know that Cates has it in him, so, like, I'm waiting to see where the payoff is going to be.
Right.
You know what
I mean? Not
like,
all is what it seems, probably.
Right. But, like, again, like, I just kind of wish this, like, the point of view had changed and maybe we hadn't learned everything right at the get-go. Obviously, there's more to learn, and maybe this is just setting Cates up for the thing he wants to do.
Yes.
Maybe he needs to establish XYZ to make the payoff in, like, the next volume work out. But that always sucks, because then that's that, like, instance of, like, being like, hey, Volume 2 of Cates' Thor run is amazing, but you have to read the first volume,
you have to get
which
through
is like
all
you just got to get through it. Like,
nobody does.
I don't know, which is really unfortunate when that happens, and I don't know if that is what's going to be happening here, but that's how I'm feeling about it right now.
That's fair. Fallen Angel XOO says, looking forward to more screen tests of Pattinson and the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Also, much love to the both of you and your work.
Thank
you very
you,
much.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them in action.
Right?
I don't want to see more screen tests, though. I just want to see, like, a trailer.
Sure. All right, I have 3 more books.
All right, let's hear them.
I read Excalibur.
Okay.
Excalibur was really fun.
Until
now. It's just, this issue just wasn't as tight. It wasn't as good. It's written by Teenie Howard with art by, hang on, Wilton Santos. The art's fine, too. It's a little weak here and there. Just some, like, weird facial construction.
That's the biggest problem.
But, like, it's only sometimes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, all right, fine, whatever. This issue is about, like, kind of the aftermath of everything that happened with Excalibur 1 through 6.
Right.
And Betsy goes back to check on her brother, who is now in charge of Otherworld. It's really, he's just in charge of Avalon. But, like, he's like, no, I'm the king of everything, whatever. And he's just a dick. It's very in keeping.
Right.
With Jamie's, like personality,
yeah,
his character. Exodus is hanging out with Apocalypse.
Oh no!
Over on Avalon. I'm
oh
like,
no! Actually, that's
yeah, that's not good.
He's an external.
He's also like he was in. Remember the last note that we read in issue 6? He's part of Apocalypse's plan. He needs Exodus. Whether or not Exodus knows that or not, I don't know.
I mean, I would assume not, because he's a dope.
Right, but like he's there, so I'm like, this is not good for anybody.
No,
like this isn't good at all. And he also needs Jamie, so he's got all of them there. He's just missing a couple of pieces. But like then Apocalypse does I enjoy some of the characterizations of Apocalypse here, where it's like Apocalypse is like obviously a powerhouse.
Sure.
And someone to be like not trifled with, but he uses a lot of like language to like win his battles in this issue, where like Betsy's like, hey, why is Exodus here? And he's like, because he can be. Because we have a gateway here now, and now this is like part of Krakoa, and so he may come and go as he pleases. Don't you see that?
Yes.
And as a leader, we're both leaders, don't forget.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Apocalypse
he's
is just
really
like...
politicianing it up.
He
really
really
well done.
is, and it's really interesting. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
Like, I'm like, okay. Like, Apocalypse taking a completely different, like, okay, this is my new angle here.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a statesman now.
I'm wearing my robes, my statesman robes, and I'm hanging out.
I'm insisting you call me whatever the hell.
Whatever it is that I don't know how to say, that's what you call me, and it's totally cool. And like, basically, like, he ends up talking about how, like, I think he mentions it, but I'm not sure, that, like, you know, what would happen, like, if Krakoa and Britain went to war? Like, whose side are you on then, Betsy?
Yeah, you're Captain Britain.
So it's just a lot of like bullshit that's happening with them, and that like you know that like he's like, this is part of Krakoa and you were for Krakoa as well, so like whatever. And he has all these like pages floating around. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, this is my grimoire.
What are you working on?
Well, he's like, this is my grimoire. I put it together because I don't feel like there should be any secrets. So here are all of the pages I've been working on. I'm like, sure, it's all of them.
I'm sure. And they're just floating around, so you can just grab one at random and read them.
But what is that asterisk up there?
Yeah.
Not actually all of them. That doesn't happen, but she's like, oh, okay, and it like makes her feel a little better.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, okay, so like we need something. We need like this specific piece, like these like heads.
Okay.
Of the werewolves.
I remember them saying something about werewolves. Wait a minute. Werewolves, they came up. Oh, wait a minute. Were those Apocalypse's werewolves? Did he have werewolves?
The fact that we're saying werewolves makes it seem like we don't know how to say werewolves, and like it's making my brain go crazy.
Your werewolves?
Stop.
Crap. What was the book we did?
They come from Mojoverse.
Yes.
And they gave Kitty and Rachel a hard time.
Yes.
According to Betsy.
Yes, I remember the
But
werewolves.
they're in London in the zoo. Like, they were keeping them there. I'm like,
okay.
Sure.
Right.
Why not? So she's got to go get them. By the way, Shogo doesn't like leaving Otherworld now. He only wants to be a dragon.
That's great. Let him be a dragon. Then we don't have to deal with the Jubilee thing
Jubilee's
anymore.
like, it's really annoying. Like, it's really hard because it's like, I need him to come home sometimes.
Right.
And like, Betsy's like, well, do you blame him?
Well, just leave him alone.
And she's like, it is paradise there.
Right.
And then like, she's like, well, maybe not for a kid. All right, I get that. Like, Jubilee's like, fine, whatever. But so then like, she gets Megan to watch Shogo for her.
Okay.
And so then Jubilee can go on the adventure.
Yay.
So they go to the zoo with Pete Wisdom. Where like it's like 28 days later, the wolves are gone.
No, that was the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow. Damn it.
Too many days.
Too many days. I had too many days. We were just talking about that the other day,
I know.
too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, because Danielle thought 28 days later was 28 weeks later.
Yeah.
28 weeks later,
Not so great.
Not
Not as bad as I remember, but not great.
It's not good.
No.
No, it's not good.
It ain't days.
It's
I'll tell you
particularly
that.
not good if you just watch 28 days later.
Well, sure.
Because if you just watch that, you're like, no.
This is great.
No. Anyway, she's like, I don't know where they are. Like, this woman's there. She's like, I don't know where they are. They got transferred or they died. I don't know. They're like, you don't know? Don't you work here? So then they basically, like, Jubilee, like, hacks in, or somebody hacks it. It doesn't matter. All they do is they find out who has them.
Okay.
And so they go to this bar to have pints, and Betsy's like, are we really going to just not go on?
We're not going to deal with the wolves?
We're going to go drink?
Yeah.
Like, we're in London, baby. Like,
yeah,
we're going to go have a pint.
We're going to have a drink where Dickens, like, drank.
Right, so then they run into Cullen Bloodstone, who has the werewolves, and he's using them to hunt, because he's just like, well, they're an invasive species, and, like, I also protect Britain, or what have you, so, like, I put them on, like, my lands, and I'm going to hunt them tomorrow, like an old-timey fox hunt.
Okay.
And you're welcome to join us, because, like, they're like, well, can we just buy the heads from you? They're like, he's like, I can't just give you the heads unless you earn them by hunting them. I'm like, you and Craven really should get together.
Yeah.
Just you two. Go have fun.
Right.
So, you know, they go there. It's like Gambit and Rogue and Richter, Betsy and Jubilee, and like it's like a traditional hunt thing. He's got his little horse he's riding. He shoots his little gun, and they all go. He rides off with his cats.
Oh.
He's like hunting cats. They're like cats.
Are they great cats, or are they just like...
They're just little cats. They're like some sort of sphinx.
They're sphinxes.
Like, yeah.
All right.
It's like, it's a bizarre image. But regardless, like, they run into the first one. Gambit does. He sees some girl who's sitting alone. He's like, hey, what's up? Like, you okay? You really shouldn't be here. This is not the place for you to be. Like, is he keeping you here? Is he, like, hunting? What the heck is happening?
Uh-huh.
And she's just like, no, I was just, like, having a moment, like, whatever. And he's like, well, you should not be here. And then she, like, you should not be here. He turns his back for a second because, like, Betsy's yelling at him about something. He's like, what? And then, like, the chick, like, takes her mouth and opens it up, and, like, the werewolf comes out of it because they're skinwalkers.
Oh.
And so, like, he killed that girl and then, like, put her skin on. And, like... If it's drawn in such a way that it's like not
cool.
It's not scary at all.
No,
I'm just
but
like,
it could have been.
Okay. So then they fight him, and Betsy beheads the werewolf, and like she's like, yeah, no, that's what they do. Fine, whatever. And then like eventually like it's revealed that like they're there for Apocalypse, and Gambit's like, you guys need to start telling me if we're going to like do a job for him because I don't want to do that.
Right.
And they're like, but he is in charge of our government.
Yeah.
And so like you can't just pick and choose Gambit. And Gambit's like,
that's kind of my thing.
maybe I shouldn't be in this book anymore.
Right.
I shouldn't be on this team.
Maybe Kelly Thompson just let me have a book.
Right? So, then Rogue, like, runs into one of them, like, one of the werewolves who's like, oh, I haven't worn a mutant skin in a while, and, like, tries to kill her, but, like, she ends up getting her gloves off and, like, melts him.
Oh.
And, like, Cullen sees this happening and is just like, oh, you're mutants and you're gonna use your little mutant powers there? That's not cool. I'm not hunting werewolves anymore. I'm hunting mutants. Like, the whole thing just starts falling apart.
Uh-huh.
So, like, they just have to kill all the werewolves, but he's hunting them simultaneously. It's just, like, literally just, like, and now I'm hunting you. End of book. I'm
right.
like, this book was a lot tighter before.
It's funny, apropos of this, and
like as though it was only supposed to be those 6 issues.
Yeah, I was actually I read the other day. We're not movers and shakers. We're not influencers.
We're not
we
at
don't.
all.
But somebody was like blamed us for that. Like they said, ComicPOP propagated the rumor that the Dawn of X series were only 6 issues.
Wow.
Like that we made it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like,
high five.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we didn't. We heard it from other people.
I don't make things up. I'm not that creative.
But also, like, don't you wish that was true now?
That's who blamed us?
4chan. I know.
Neat.
Yeah, they were like, fucking, because somebody was like, shouldn't these be over? And they were like, oh no, ComicPOP fucking made it all up. And
we
I'm like,
accepted you, baby.
And I'm like, no, we didn't. But,
apparently we did.
Yeah, you know what it is? Just that not a lot of comic book YouTubers like do live shows where they talk about what's happening right now. So, there you go. Denial says, I haven't been a fan of this Thor. Feels too rushed. We didn't spend enough time with Thor, the ruler of Asgard.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, the pacing's so all over the place because it was like Thor's ruler of Asgard. We got to learn all about Galactus, and now we're like stretching out. Where it's like now we're gonna fight Beta Ray Bill, and we're gonna have a run-in with Sif, and it's like, what is this pacing? Right. Like if you wanted to have this like rushed pacing, then it should have been a reveal of information over time.
Yes. No, I agree.
Don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I was going to talk about X-Force.
Okay. Number 7.
Number 7. X-Force number 7 is written by Ben Percy with art by Basil Dua. It's a Domino story.
Okay.
I
mean, I guess that cover says exactly what it is then.
Yeah. Somebody is assassinating prominent human mutant sympathizers. Mm-hmm. They're doing it in such a way that it is like too good. It's lucky that they would be able to kill these people. Oh. Clearly, like, some of Domino's skin is being used. It's like, you should have just killed her. Like, obviously they would have killed her.
Yeah.
The only reason why they didn't kill her is because Percy wanted to do this story about there being, like, someone using Domino's powers.
Yeah.
Her powers are kind of not working anymore because someone else is using her luck powers.
Oh.
She bumps into Colossus. The two of them kind of, like, lament how, like, they're both broken people. And so she goes on a mission to defend another defender of mutant rights.
Uh-huh.
She saves the person from assassination, then goes to deal with the would-be assassin, and it is revealed that there is, like, an evil Domino. There's, like, another Domino out there, like an inverted Domino. A Domino's white with a black thing, now there's a black Domino with a white thing, and she's using the Skinwalker stuff. And you're like, okay, I'm not reading this book anymore. Like, it's fine.
Right.
The last issue was such a, like, cloak and dagger, like, oh my god, this is, like, really the seedy underbelly of X-Force.
Yeah.
And this is more like, hey, it's what Domino's up to. Domino's a member of X-Force, so like, don't you care?
Right.
It's like,
Okay.
right on, I guess I do. Like, it's cool. But that's what happens.
Yeah.
It is pretty decent art, and the story itself is engaging while it's happening, but like you will forget about it a day later. So is it worth $5? I would say no.
5?
Something like that.
I think it's 4.
I think if it's 4, it's 5. Like,
That's
like
not how that works.
let me take a look. Let me hit the brakes on this show and find out how much.
Sure, why not? I'll be queuing up. It doesn't tell you on the cover because they're digital.
Oh right. I have no idea how much it is. Well, it's too much, whatever.
Okay.
But it's
It's fair enough.
if you're a big Domino fan, you'll hate this because like it's not Domino anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because for no reason they didn't just euthanize Domino and then resurrect her.
Maybe they'll just run into each other really hard.
Right.
And become one.
It's just so weird that they didn't do that. Well, no, it's not weird because they wanted to do this thing. Like
Right.
Percy wanted to do this thing about Domino.
Right.
That's why. But like story-wise, there is no good reason why they didn't do that.
Okay.
Especially now. Like when Domino goes to Krakoa and goes like, they're using my skin and making like this thing. It's like, well then we'll just kill you.
Yeah, we'll just
And then
try
her
it
skin
again.
won't work anymore.
I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't. Well, it shouldn't work like that in any way. But whatever.
Is this new Domino's name Domino, or is it like backgammon?
They just show her.
Okay.
Backgammon. Joseph Molina says, Paul, you as a werewolf. Well, Paul is not Paul anymore. That's another MST3K reference. Nicely done, Paul. Or Joseph.
That's awesome.
Crap, where were we? Alan Rosette says, quick hello from Canada. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Alan. Thanks a lot for hanging out. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Moving on.
Yeah, I've got 2 more.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's talk about Doctor Strange, the Surgeon Supreme #3.
Sweet.
Written, it's storytellers are Mark Waid and Kev Walker.
Okay.
Kev Walker's obviously also
The artist.
the artist, so I'm guessing it's like Wade's giving him some stuff, and then he's writing some of it as well. Calling them storytellers is always like a loose term.
Hey, Wade. If you don't want to write this anymore,
Don't do it.
stop.
Yep.
Like, don't. I don't want to do this. Hey, Kev, what do you got?
This issue.
When the Kev Walker, by the way, is a storyteller.
Yeah.
So, like, he'd be fine.
No, he is. This issue starts off really strong. And then kind of loses steam partway through. But for me, that's like a step in the right direction. It is another one-shot. Like, not one-shot, but like one-off. It's like, here's the monster of the week kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so Strange is working in the hospital. Obviously, he gets called in by like the administrator, not Dr. Druid, some other woman, who she probably is not an administrator. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? And there's like a guy, and like he's like really really old, and he's all these tattoos, and like she's like, so we brought this guy in, and we know that this is not a medical problem, so we're gonna need you to take a look at it.
We have a specialist for that.
Because like. He says he's 19, but he looks like he's 90. And we looked at his license, and he is 19.
Right.
And like when we brought him in, he was 50-ish. And
Oh,
now
no,
he looks
he's
like
just
he's
aging.
90. Yeah. So Strange is like, okay. And we see like that like classic, not now I call it classic. It wasn't just a few years ago, but like this like idea of like, Strange seeing the world in a different way. And so like what Aaron Bocciolo like idea of like seeing like a black and white image of like a guy in the next bed over with this like colorful like creature on top of it making him ill.
Right.
And Strange's like, I see things a little differently, but I look at this dude and I don't see anything. But he is covered in tattoos, and that's kind of like,
maybe he's being cursed.
Let's talk about tattoos, right?
Right.
And he's just like, when did you start feeling like this? And like he's like, I don't know, like a week ago, but like he's starting to lose his memory because he's old.
Right.
And then like Strange notices on his neck, he's got like this really weird like fresh tattoo where it's like a bunch of circles with lines and stuff, and he's like, that looks new. I don't know who knows about tattoos between Kev Walker and Mark Waid, but like somebody wanted to talk about tattoos.
Okay.
So here we are.
Well, I'll tell you this: Mark Waid doesn't look like he got any tats. So
Who knows? Maybe
he's got a secret, like Superman crest on his butt or something.
Why does that have to be on the butt?
Because it's a hidden area.
Sure. So anyway, he's just like, where'd you get that tattoo? And he's just like, like one night, like I found like a new place, and like I'd had a few to drink, and like whatever, and like Strange is like, cool. So he's drunk off his ass, and he found some random ass tattoo shop, and he went in, and he's just like, I must have been really messed up because I swore for a second when I saw that guy, that like the guy like the shop owner, that he looked like he was flat. And I was like, that's
like 2-dimensional?
Cool. Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
I'm like, that's cool.
That's a cool image.
All right, I'm in. I'm down. So then, like, next thing he knows, he's outside and he's not feeling so great.
Right.
Like, he doesn't remember getting the tattoo.
Oh.
So Strange, like, uses his, like, he, like, asks the lady to leave. He's like, can we have a minute? He puts on his Doctor Strange costume. Yeah. And then he's just like, okay, maybe it's a vampiric tattoo. I think it's sucking his life force. So he traces it back to the dimension it's coming from. When he gets there, he's like, I don't know this place.
Ah, that's fun.
Cool. Why not? So then, like, it's, like, all these, like, interesting images and such, and, like, he realizes that, like, he's in a, like, world of, like, 2-dimensional items. Like, it's all these, like, drawings, and, like, it's a tattoo dimension, okay? It's a tattoo dimension. And so, like, he sees the tattoo of this, like mermaid.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, okay, that's humanoid. Maybe it can talk. He tries to talk to it, and, like, all these, like, snakes shoot out of his mouth. He's like, okay. No.
I'll go ask Dick Butt what to do. Or I'll ask Tweetyberg smoking a joint what to do. Or SpongeBob riding a unicorn, farting a rainbow what to do.
Right, or all those misspelled tattoos, or all those horrifically drawn ones.
Where's
that part?
I'll ask what Regertz thinks about all this.
But Strange is like, all right, I need to take this a little more seriously, obviously. Like, just because they're drawings doesn't mean they can't hurt me.
Right.
He sees a castle.
Jump through the Metallica logo.
He sees a castle, and he's like, okay, that's obviously where I'm going to go next. Let's go check that out. But, like, there's a
It's got the Little Mermaid erection in it.
No! There's, like, a dragon guarding it. And so, like, he fights the dragon, and like, he lands, and, like, there's, like, a big...
And it's a Chinese myth dragon.
No, it's like so here's the thing is, like, it's like a regular dragon. I was like, I thought it would be like, it should have been like a tribal dragon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like maybe it's 2-dimensional. It's just like one of those black tribal tattoos.
Right. The art's like really cool in this.
It's like I wanted to draw a dragon.
Right. It's really nice looking art, but like for the realm they were trying to depict, I didn't get that feeling.
Right. It's a tattoo dimension. You're drawing like a real 3-dimensional Arthurian dragon. Yeah.
And the idea that this is supposed to be like have like this 2-dimensional quality to it or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that'll come up later on. It's like it's not depicted here,
No.
so I'm like I'm not
getting it.
There's like a disconnect.
Right. Your world building's falling apart.
Yeah, he runs into this big like barbarian looking dude, and I was like, I guess someone might have a tattoo of that. And like he tries to fight it. He like slashes it with like a sword. He's like, okay, obviously I'm gonna have to fight you. That's how this is gonna work. Cool, whatever. So like he cuts it, but immediately heals itself, and he's like,
okay,
that's bad. Notices there's like a tank behind it, and it looks like it's ink, and he's like, that's like the lifeblood of this world.
Sure.
So he severs its connection to that, and like kills it. And I was like, not to the world, to that guy.
Okay.
It like creates like an explosion, which opens a wall, and he's like, cool, that worked out for me. Thank you. Like one thing has happened to me so far that's working for me. And he finds this chamber, and there's like a bunch of people like suspended on the wall through like vines kind of thing. And he's just like, oh, hey, it's the guy I'm trying to help. And a bunch of other people. I didn't even think to check if there were other people. And then like some creepy guy shows up who's like, he's a demon, right?
Okay.
But like, I don't know if he's a demon from this dimension or not, because he says that he's like, oh, you're from the 3rd dimension. Like, you know, like.
So he's not from the tattoo dimension.
Well, no, he says that Strange is from the 3rd dimension.
Oh, okay.
And like, you know, he talks about how he's like, he's from the 3 space and like all that stuff. Like the idea that like, you know, they're in like the 2nd dimension, or they only have 2 dimensions.
Oh, the 3rd dimension, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but I'm like, but you are seemingly completely 3-dimensional and like don't really look like you come from here.
Yeah.
So much.
Right.
So I don't know if like he just decided that he could rule here.
Here's the thing. What do you think? It's Mark Waid's run on Doctor Strange. Do you think it's like really, really clever that like this is an invading demon that like came here and took over this dimension, or do you think it's just I wanted to have I just needed to have a demon?
I don't.
And so I had this idea and I didn't really execute it very well.
They use really loose language because it says I control the 2nd dimension.
Right. Like,
and he calls Strange a thirder.
Right. Like, are you from here? Did you run this, or are you like from someplace else and you found like, this place was easy to take over?
Right. And he does have like a device on his arm that seemingly like
suggests that he's from there.
That creates. I think he came here and just tried to take over.
Okay.
Fine, whatever. But like he's just like, I use tattoos, and I'm like, then I feel it's just really weird that he uses tattoos to drain people's energy, but isn't from here. Possibly, I don't know. Regardless, like this story for me was a step in the right direction for this run, because at least Strange is doing things that isn't like involving like the end of the world. He's like, helping a person with magic,
right? At his own
and
peril.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So then like he's like, I didn't realize I could pull you guys into this dimension. That's way easier than what I have been doing, which is
Right.
going out there and tattooing people and coming back. He's like, I'm just gonna tattoo you and I'll live off of you for years. It's freaking awesome.
Okay.
So then like Strange uses a spell, like a magnet spell, to pull ink out of one of the people on the wall.
Okay.
And then tattoos the Vishanti, not the Vishanti. Yeah, the window of the Vishanti on his forehead, and then like blast the guy with light.
That's dope.
I was like, okay, cool. And he explodes into colorful ink, which supports the he's from here.
Yeah.
But
Right.
maybe not, because
not strong
don't
enough.
think about it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Wade
here.
doesn't want you to think about
Don't
it.
think
No one's going to
about
be
it.
talking about this run after it's over, so.
Maybe, I don't know. Regardless, like, Strange helps everybody, and then, like, you know, the kid wakes up, he doesn't remember anything, and, like, Strange realizes that the machine that the guy was using, like the tattoo, like, magic device he had properties that were from his own forge.
What?
The forge that he has, his magical forge.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah.
something's taking things from it.
Right.
So I was like, oh,
So
okay.
someone's like, someone else is behind it?
Right. Well, someone else is arming others with that, which made me think that, oh, you're trying to say that this guy took over, but then he explodes into colorful ink, so like maybe he's from there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there was like some really interesting concepts within this issue, and some of it kind of started falling apart because it just seemed like they needed to get to like an ending, and it didn't matter how they got there. But like I felt like the beginning was really strong. It really set up like a cool kind of classic story where it's like you're going to get those horror elements or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when we get to the tattoo dimension, it not only doesn't have that look of like what you imagine a tattoo to be, because the tattoo, obviously, like the tattoo artists come so far. So like you can have these masterpieces on people's arms, but like, you know, it still has its limitations and it still has a specific style of look, and we don't see any of the looks like through the histories of tattoos within there. And I guess it could just be drawings just in general, and maybe he's just using tattoos, but like some of the imagery there I think is supposed to harken that. So I think it's like kind of a throwaway place and it doesn't really matter, but like I like the world
But that's a
building
cool idea, and
sometimes,
it's
but
too
I'm
bad
like,
they didn't really. Yeah.
it's fine. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
That's fair.
It's cool.
Yeah. That made me think, like, man, if people really wanted, like, whatever his name is, like the dude who played House, to play Doctor Strange
Yeah.
back in the day, and like,
I know.
man, if you were gonna make
Trust me, that like having that woman there with
Hugh
him.
Laurie, that's it.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie, and having that woman there makes it
Yeah.
feel like it's sort of like,
Like,
House.
are you doing House but Doctor Strange? And
And
it's
I
like,
wish-
because him
sure.
being like, oh, like it's a demon or something, then like, you know what I mean? Like he's
It's
gonna
lupus.
Yeah, he's gonna keep trying something, then it like make him sick. Or if you just wanted to make House, but it's Doctor Strange,
Just do it.
You could easily do that, where
I
it's like
would
each
love
issue is a
that.
thing of the week, and it's like Strange does something, it makes it worse. He has a team. Hey, you could make like a little like team, like with you know like that. Those characters, those colorful characters
listen,
he has.
Marvel loves to take characters and make them super successful in like doing like either a organization or a foundation.
Yeah.
And then it all falls apart. So like Strange is trying to bridge the gap between medicine and magic. And so he gets other doctors and like
Hell,
magic
isn't there like a
users
team
together.
they're making right now of like surgeons, like or something like that, or like doctors? Remember, it's like cardiac and like and Jane Foster and stuff like that.
I thought we made that up. Is
No,
that
that's really a thing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. No, we were talking about it with Greg.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But like that could have been cool if you take only the ones that are doctors and also magic based, and that's like Strange's little like brain trust, and then
Yeah. I'm just.
That'd be
I don't know.
cool.
That'd be neat. That'd be
Oh,
fun.
well.
Also Zelma tries to get in touch with Strange, and she gets like he's not there.
Okay.
So like she talks to the other guy, but like she needs him to call her immediately.
Right.
So before we go to X-Men, which we can both talk about, let's just really briefly talk about Savage Avengers.
Yes.
Which was a really great Doctor Strange book. And let's be honest, I really wish Jerry Dugan or Duggan or whoever you say his name is was writing Doctor Strange right now.
Yeah.
This issue was great. I read 8. I missed 9.
And here we are at 10.
And I read 10. I am 100% going back to pick up 9. Even though I know what happened in it, thanks to the intro page.
Yes.
Because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed 10 so very much. Don't look ahead.
It's a preview page.
Well, you're looking ahead.
Okay.
You're ruining my reveal.
All right.
For you. I wanted to get a real reaction, and now it's over.
I don't know what the hell I'm looking at here.
Sal the Nosy here, king of nosing.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last issue, Strange got like poisoned by Cullen Goth. Like they're trying to fight him, and like he like got taken down, and like Doom got like buried underneath some rubble.
Yeah.
And so like Conan's fighting Cullen Gath, who looks like a hot mess. And like also they're there to get Brother Voodoo, who is like in a
Didn't he
sarcophagus.
die?
Yeah, and they're there to get him.
Yeah.
And he's like a ghost, and he's just like, my body's dying. You have to help me, Strange.
Where's his brother?
No, he's like, my body's dying.
I know, but where's his brother ghost?
Not
Brother
there.
Voodoo has like a brother ghost.
Well, no, well, now Brother Voodoo's the ghost.
That's what made me think, like, oh, how come there aren't two ghosts.
But when Strange was in trouble and like having a problem, Doom called down his Iron Man armor and
his infamous Iron Man
put it on Strange to save him.
Oh!
And so now Strange has Iron Man armor, which I thought was so funny because you literally just showed me that image today.
We were literally talking about apparently
Yeah.
like there's an art for Infinity War Endgame book coming out or that came out.
Yeah.
And they revealed that like an alternate take scene from Infinity War when Spider-Man and Iron Man saved Doctor Strange from being stabbed with those needles and shit from Ebony Maw.
Yeah.
Originally, it wasn't that Spider-Man blew a hole in the wall, or maybe it wasn't that Spider-Man lets him get sucked into space, but that Iron Man throws his nanobots onto Strange, and the suit like forms around Strange.
Yeah.
And then like, but because of the Eye of Agamotto, it like creates a like crest.
Yeah.
And it becomes a magical suit of armor that Strange wields against Ebony Maw. And there's like art for that. You could see like Cumberbatch in this like Iron Man Doctor Strange hybrid armor.
Yeah.
And then they just did that.
Yeah. So they did. Well, you told me about that, and then I was reading this issue, and I was like,
Oh,
I
they're
can't
doing
wait-
that.
I can't wait to tell Sal.
First of all, yay, because that armor needs to be used. Like, if you're gonna waste Doctor Doom, do something with that.
the armor's is no more now.
Yeah, I see.
So Strange is using magic to protect Conan, and Conan's like, I don't like sorcerers, but like this guy's kind of growing on me.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
They bump into each other a lot in this series, so
Right.
yeah.
So then Conan is being held by rocks, and like Strange needs to get him out of said rocks. Like he's
Sure.
like really embedded within them. He like pushes Colin Gath down for a second, and he's like, "Okay, hey, suit, do you have Pym particles?"
What?
And he's just like, "Cool, I'm gonna write a new code." And so he uses magic and the Pym particles to like make the rock shrink down, and he saves Conan in that way.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, "That's really cool."
That's smart, clever, and fun.
Exactly. By the way, like he asks, he's like, where is Doom? He's just like, yeah, he's buried. The Conan's like, he's gone. Anyway, moving on.
Did Doom leave? Is he even in the book anymore?
No, yes, because then like Colin Gath shows up and he's like, okay, I got my snake arm sword thing happening here. I'm gonna kill all of you, and then Doom just punches him in the face. And then Colin Gath's on the floor and he's like,
Why?
oh. Strange opens up the sarcophagus. He's like, all right, we got to get like
Brother Voodoo
Voodoo's
in there.
body out of here. And like Conan's like, hang on, man. We don't rob the crypt until after we kill the guy. That's not how this works.
That's amazing.
And like, he's like,
Fair enough.
damn it. They open the crypt and there is like, it's a sarcophagus and there's Brother Voodoo. And on his face is a minion of Shumagorath. It's literally the thing I wanted. When they said Conan was coming to the universe, I was like, because Shumagorath, they have a history there.
You're right. You can talk about that a little bit.
No, go ahead. Like, I'm just saying.
No,
Conan has a history with Shumagorath,
Shumagorath.
and so does Strange. And like, I was like, there's the book. You team these two up. That's what they're doing. But like, it's a minion, and it's on Brother Voodoo's face, and like, Strange is like,
Like
okay.
Starro? Oh, that's cool.
And he's like, okay, I am going to need to do something about this. Meanwhile, like, Colin Gath's putting himself back together because they're working together.
Right.
Colin Gath is trying to bring forth Shumagorath.
Ah.
I'm like, that's awesome!
Yeah.
So, like, Doom and Conan are gonna fight off Colin Gath whilst Strange tries to pull this thing off of him. So he tries magic, it's not working. He's like, okay, so he uses the suit and a little laser. He's like, I'm gonna perform surgery on it. I'm gonna start, like, removing it from his face.
Right.
Kind of like Alien.
Right.
Colin Gath is kicking the crap out of Conan and Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Conan, like, is like, you're taking too long, Strange. And he just grabs it off of Brother Voodoo's face. It, like, starts freaking out. Colin Gath's trying to convince Doom. He's like, listen, you bend a knee to me right now.
Right.
He's like, when I ascend, you get the earth. And Doom's like, I kneel to no one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and see, it was really the
That's
wording.
Doom.
That was the wording.
Yeah, no.
you shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
You should not have done that. It's right. It's such a dope image.
Ugh.
Right?
Yep.
I love it. So, it's really cool to hear Conan say Shumagorath. He like starts like like beating on like the minion on his face. He's just like, release my friend Shumagorath or I'll kill you again. And he just flings it off of him. Cullen Gath grabs it. He's just like, you're gonna pay for that one. He's just wait and see. Just wait and see. So Strange uses the armor, creates a little knife out of it. Like, Strange in the armor, he immediately just, he
takes to it like, yeah.
He's just like, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like magic, right?
Right.
Sure. So.
Well, it's because it's Doom's armor. It's not Iron Man's armor.
I know. Right? So then, like, Strange, like, cuts his hand and he invokes Kalfu, who is, like, kind of like, he's the Kalfu. Brother Voodoo is a priest of Kalfu.
Okay.
And so he invokes him. And so they go to this, like, cool swamp thing. And, like, he's a really cool image. Like, he's just standing there above the ground, floating there.
It's kind of Shadow Man-y.
Kind of Shadow Man-y. It is. It is. But he's just like, wow, you must be really desperate to come here, Strange. And he tells him, he's just like, it's Brother Voodoo. Like, you need to help him. You need to bring him back. Yeah. And he's like, I will if he makes a deal with me. He's like, I like him. So, you know, whatever. Brother Voodoo's there as a ghost, like, going in, and he's like, all right. He's like, listen, if I don't make it back in time, you need to know the following things. He's like, Cullen Gath is trying to summon and consume Shumagorath, but Steven, whatever you do, make sure to, and then Kalfu sends him away. And Strange's like, what? Make sure to what?
Yeah.
Damn it,
Kalfu.
So then he sees that, like, Cullen Gath is, like, still beating on Conan and Doom, so he takes the armor off of himself and he sends it on to Cullen Gath to hold him.
Yes.
And then, like, he's, like, burning his way out of it, and Conan puts the amulet that he had back on him, which was cursed, that third eye of Agamotto.
Yes.
And it burns through Cullen Gath, like, ripping his head off, and he's like, this isn't the end of me.
Okay.
And so then, like, they're in the desert. Like, the whole pyramid they were in is gone.
Yeah.
And, like, Conan's like, hey, that's cool, man. It's all right. Like, we did not kill him, so we're not going to dwell on your failings, guys. Instead, we're going to go find a bar, we're going to get super drunk, and then we're going to go back on our adventure. And, like, Strange is like, okay, where did you find him?
Yeah, where'd you get this guy?
And he's like, the jungles of Brazil. And he's like, do you have any problem with this? And Jim's like, nope. And the two of them use magic and just send Conan away back to the jungle. And, like, Conan's furious. And this is the part of the book that I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. They go back to New York. Strange and Doom, they go back to the sanctum. The two of them just collapse on the floor together. And they're like, I don't know if we can stop him. And, like, he's like, Doom goes, maybe with Mephisto. And he's like, I don't want to go down that path. And I was like, this is straight up, like, Triumph and Torment. Yeah. And, like, while I'm sure some people are like, Doom would not do this, it's like Steven and Doom have a very different relationship and specific history. And, like, Steven has seen Doom at, like, that weak point with his mother, and so, like, I think he feels very comfortable to do that. I just love that kind of, like, bro moment between the two of them where they're just like, okay, oh my god,
that was rough. And at least we don't have to host Conan,
right? Like, I just love they just send him away. This was my favorite book of the week. I can't wait to go back and read 9 because I literally love the relationship between these two. And then in the next issue, the teaser image of it is Strange kissing Elektra, and I'm like, this is my favorite Doctor Strange book right now. Yeah. And I'm so sad it took me this long to get back onto this. I was reading Savage Avengers. I wasn't really, like, it wasn't grabbing me. Yeah. But I'm so glad that I jumped on seeing that Strange was in it because I love it. It's so good. Yeah. So good.
That's awesome.
So.
Yay. Well, I'm glad to hear it.
So if you're looking for a Strange book.
This is the one.
This is the one. Even if you just, like, don't care about Conan necessarily, but you like that Triumph and Torment, like, relationship of Doom and Strange, you might like these past few issues. So I guess it would be 8, 9, and 10. I'm not sure if 7's a part of that or not, but, like, yeah.
Denial says, I swear the Doctor Strange demon looks like Arkham Asylum Scarecrow drawn as a half something. But yeah, from Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes! Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got the things, but he's got more of a face.
Right.
Off.
So, X-Men, number 6 from Hickman and Bufgani, or Bufgani. This is cool because it's like, why did Mystique go with the team in Hawks? She was useless. Right. Like, seemingly she went with the team and then died. Well, this issue explains to you what happened. It also explains to you why she's so insistent on Destiny coming back to life. And as far as I know, it also retcons who Destiny is to Mystique.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, I will admit I am not the world's biggest X-Men fan, but I don't remember Destiny being this kind of connected to Mystique. But essentially, it retcons that Mystique and Destiny are having a conversation, presumably, past one of Moira's lives, where she fills Mystique in somewhat on what happened.
It must be this one. It has to be this one, otherwise Mystique wouldn't remember it.
Right, that's true. No, but I mean, yeah, that's true.
It has to be the one in which X-Men is currently taking place.
Yeah, but Destiny is like, one time we caught Moira McTaggart and burned her alive.
Yeah.
And she's pulling the strings. We got to deal with her. And if I don't come back, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you some cryptic shit that you can remember that will, not make any sense to you right now, but once it happens, it will slide into place and you will make it happen. And
it's gonna Kaiser Sose you.
Yeah, you will be Mystique. So we established that the Orcus group is rebuilding. Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is actually it's all a flashback issue. Yeah, the whole thing is a flashback.
No, is it?
Yeah, because we're in Orcus. They're talking about placing Mother Mold and everything like that.
No, this is the rebuild.
That's right. Okay, so it starts off where they're rebuilding Orcus because it says now.
Yeah, so it's post Mother Mold going into the sun.
Yes, but it turns out that Dr. Gregor, the woman who lost her husband and everything, she is no, because she sees it. Because Mystique sees it.
No, but she sees something else. So this is post that. So Dr. Gregor is more committed than ever before in the wake of what the X-Men have done.
Yes.
And so she's taken a completely different route, which we find out later on what the route is that she took.
Yeah.
Because it's just no, we're not doing Mother Mold anymore. I'm just skipping that.
Yeah. We're going to go from Mother Mold to Nimrod.
To Nimrod. So she's just building a Nimrod.
Yeah.
But we don't know that initially. We just see her building something, completely committed to her work, not paying attention to anything else. All she cares about is finishing this work right now.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, it's not linear. Because she's building the Nimrod, but we still get the
we don't know
recon.
what it is.
We don't know what it is. Well, you see it and you're like, that's a Nimrod. The second when she's building this, I was like, oh, I know what's going on.
Oh, no. I thought she was actually building a body for her husband.
No, I thought... Because
it's later on that they show it to you.
Yeah,
That's why I thought it later.
No, when we see this in the first few days,
or
first few pages, I thought, oh my god, that's where Nimrod's personality comes from. That Gregor invents Nimrod, builds him, and dumps her husband's personality into Nimrod.
Oh, see, I didn't know. I did not think that was Nimrod until later on.
It was pink. I was like,
I thought she was just... Well, everything was off color.
Yeah, but...
So I wasn't... You can't... in my opinion, you can't really tell because everything is not, colored 100% accurately on purpose.
Yes, well, yeah.
But I thought she was just literally, had given up on the job they were supposed to be doing and was instead paying attention to, bringing her husband back.
Right. That's fair. So Mystique is talking to the X-Men. She's like... Or she's talking to Xavier and everything, and she's like, you owe me. You told me you would bring Destiny back if I helped you and died, and I did.
Well, no, this is the past now.
No, it's the present, because she's talking...
Yeah, no, this book jumps all over the place.
Yeah.
This shows us that,
No, this is the present.
Is it?
Yeah, because she's like, you owe me, and they're like, you gotta prove, and you gotta see if it worked, what we did. Let's talk about it in linear order.
Yeah, in the linear order.
In Hawks.
Yeah.
They send her.
Yeah.
Because not only is she infiltrating, but more importantly, they know there's a terrarium or whatever on board the Orcus protocol. Yeah. And so they're like, bring a Krakoan flower, plant it there so we can have access to it.
Yes.
So we can see if we made it and if it worked. So that was Mystique's mission. So she goes to...
That was part A?
Yeah, plan A was that. And plan B was...
She had to go take down
turn
one
off
of the
couplings.
Yeah.
So she plants a Krakoan flower, and that's why she gets sidetracked, and it perfectly lines up with Cyclops being like, where are you? And she's like, I'm here, get over it. Shut up.
Yeah.
And then Gregor's like, hey, I got some bad news. Click, and she falls. And she gets sucked out into space.
Ah, spaced.
So she dies. We actually see her, thinking about it, and how, and her dying and asphyxiating, how we planted the seed and we need to know if it worked.
Yeah.
So then in then she gets resurrected and Xavier's like, okay, so it worked. Let's find out. Well, she's like, well, I planted it.
Right, but they don't believe. They're like, we don't know if you did or not because Cerebro couldn't reach your minds, so we don't know if you did it or not, and you don't know if you did it or not.
Exactly.
And so we won't know until somebody tries to go through it. And she's like, well, if I didn't, what'll happen? You'll just go
You'll
through.
just walk through the door. Yeah.
Nothing will happen, but like if you did it and they found out, then you're walking into a trap. So
yeah, so either way. And I can't download you. Like you'll be screwed. So she goes through it and morphs into one of the like soldiers, one of the foot soldiers.
Yeah, and I really like the treatment
yeah.
of these pages because it's like we saw the
sequence already in the opening.
Yeah, and it was just like you were just paying attention to what the humans were talking about because you're, oh my god, they're rebuilding this whole thing.
Right, you're focused on that.
You're focused on that, and then they show you the same panels again, or some of the same panels again, and they're like, black and white everything, only color on this individual who was Mystique, and I hope that they make it blue.
Yes, genius.
Yeah.
But it's great because Mystique, of course, is talking to Gregor, and she says something like, do you want it just here? She's like, just shut up and put it there. Just drop it. But Mystique sees that they're building a Nimrod.
Yep. And then considers killing her, and then doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
And they were like, hey, how come you didn't... And she goes back. She's like, so yeah, they're building... They're skipping a Nimrod. They're like, why didn't you kill her? She's like, because that's one of our laws, isn't it? We don't kill humans. No, like, not in wartime. Not when it comes to this kind of shit.
Not that human.
And she's like, I have made too many allowances for you. Like, when are you gonna wake up Destiny? And they're like... Never. Like, they didn't say, they're like, well, later. And she screams, I want my wife back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know Destiny and Mystique were married / like together.
Right.
I just missed that, I guess. I don't know. But like, maybe, like, I hope it's a retcon. I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, she screams at them and they're like, shut up. You're Mystique. Even though, like, we literally can never trust you. And you've never been trustworthy. Now we're going to screw you over. We're not listening to Moira. We're patting ourselves on the back, and we're screwing over Mystique. The one person who can turn to anybody.
Right.
Nicely done. So she leaves, and she remembers her conversation with Destiny, where Destiny's like, essentially, if Magneto and Professor X don't bring me back to life when you go to Krakoa. Like, she uses, like, language that does not say anything specific, but it's clearly part of it. Mm-hmm. She's like, if they're gonna say they're gonna resurrect you, you're gonna do everything that they say and they're still not gonna resurrect me. And if it's clear they're not gonna, you burn it all down.
Yeah. Just burn it down.
Burn it all down. I
gotta say, not exactly the best move for Mystique to be, like, in this position right now because like, all the mutants are here and they all really like this place, and I feel like if you're the person who's just like, let's burn it down, you mean paradise? Well, where I can just
she doesn't know, like,
where I can just bang and like have everything for free.
Yeah, well, they don't know that's her plan, and she doesn't need anybody else's help.
No, I know, but if she tries to do it, I feel like they're gonna be like, I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
I'm gonna.
I love the 24-hour banging.
Right, I'm gonna burn your existence to the ground. Which, of course, they should. Which
they should.
But it's very cool. Like, I was like so into this issue. Like, this is the kind of shit where it's like, hey, well, they're gonna fight the Golden Girls and stuff, but like, oh yeah, hey, here's some new information that crystallizes Hawks and Pox a little further.
Yeah, and like this just brought me right back to how good Hawks and Pox were, or how good it was. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool. We're still on board. Maybe some of the ancillary titles are getting weaker as they're going on. Sure, whatever. But this main title, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still on board. I still can't wait to see what Hickman's plan is.
Right.
Like, that's really what this is all about for me. It's finding out what Hickman's plan is.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? Riley Smith says, really enjoying Spider-Man Life Story back issue this week. Anyways, just want to send some love. Have a good week.
Thank
you, Riley.
much.
Really appreciate it, man. And thanks for checking out the show. The Titan Zero. Hickman confirmed today that Hawks and Pox to X-Force #1. Professor X is in the Phantom X body after he is resurrected. He is in his original body and is starting to work out. And is just working out. Yeah, that makes sense. From Hawks and Pox to X-Force 1, he's Phantom X. Then he's resurrected after he gets shot, and now he's Professor X. So that explains his eye color, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
Flywheel Shyster helping us out. Thank you very
so much.
And Ben Wilson with his comment. Will catch the video on demand due to work, but wanted to show my appreciation for your work. Your content and topics lately have been dope. Thank you very much, Ben. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We're trying harder. We're working harder on the show.
Yeah.
And on the channel in general. Hopefully, it's working and it's translating to you. Let's jump into some recommendations. I recommend this book, by the way. It's fucking...
Oh, I do too. Like, if
great.
you were on the Hawks and Pox train, but you haven't wanted to read anything post that,
Right, you're like, none of this seems to matter.
the main X-Men title's the way to go, and issues like this just remind you how much planning Hickman has put into this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So...
yeah.
Right. I assume you have this in your recommendations.
I do. Wonder Woman Dead Earth #2 by Daniel Warren Johnson. This is one of those books that I literally had the first issue. I went and bought it.
Yep.
I just haven't had the opportunity to read it, and
No.
woe unto me for doing that. Daniel Warren Johnson is the guy behind Extremity and Murder Falcon.
Right.
He's a really incredible writer and artist as well. Very different type of perspective and very action-packed kind of guy. Like, if you like over-the-top action, you might dig him. I don't know if that's in this book because I literally haven't cracked it open yet. But, like, I should have, and that's my own failing, but I'm going to be picking up #2 as well.
Yeah. I see this book everywhere, and I feel bad because it's, like, not sold copies.
I know.
I gotta recommend Amazing Mary Jane #5 from Leah Williams. This series is fun. It's just genuinely fun stuff. I'm like happy that it's selling well. This kind of thing says to Marvel, like, I want this and I like this character, and please, like, don't marginalize her or like write her out of the Spider-Man mythos. Clearly Spencer's on board too, so it's just another representation of something good. Plus the Humberto Ramos covers have been tight. Like, they've just been really good stuff.
Right.
So I really like that. What else you got?
Okay.
Oh, well, I gotta recommend Wolverine #1 from Ben Percy and Adam Kubert and Victor Bogdanovic. My man Vic is doing a Wolverine book. I'm so thrilled to see that.
That's amazing.
I've been seeing a lot of his page work. He's been teasing images and panels. I can tell you Omega Red is returning in this series.
Oh.
So it's some really cool stuff. It's going to be action-packed, a lot of violence, a lot of gore, and a lot of Wolverine. This one has been like... I can't believe, you know what it is? They were so high on like how much hype there was for X-Men. They didn't need a Wolverine book yet. But now we're here and now we're easing into it. Now people are having favorites and least favorites from Dawn of X.
Right.
So it's time for a Wolverine book.
Yep.
And here it is. I think it's going to run for a while. I'm sure it'll be cool. I mean, Kubert's great. Bogdanovic's the exciting part. And the reason why it's exciting is because, like, you probably don't know his work, and you're about to.
Yeah.
If you like Greg Capullo, you're going to love Bogdanovic. Check it out.
That's so true.
Deceased is getting a sequel series. It's a 3-issue miniseries. Forgivably, 3 issues?
Yeah.
It's amazing restraint from DC, who has been nothing but wetting the bed lately. I got to tell you, this series is like... The Deceased was great. Tom Taylor, back. This is just, what were the villains doing during the outbreak? Great question. Great idea. There was only like 1 spin-off series from Deceased, and it was like in the hardcover, it's collected like it's part of the story. It was that essential, and it was that well written. I'm glad of it. I have the Deceased hardcover. Obviously, I'm getting ready to do it on back issues. It's such a great series. I highly recommend it. What? It's not coming next week, but it's not coming this week, but something bigger will be coming this week. But yeah, Unkillables, 1 of 3. It's coming out. Check it out. Looks great. What else you got?
Deadpool #3 is coming out. Kelly Thompson.
Oh yeah,
series.
Kelly Thompson. I'm like,
Craven,
Deadpool.
Right. Happening. Interested. Me.
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian #13. This is the Aaron series no longer. This is the Jim Zub series now.
Right.
If you're looking for Conan and Aaron, you're going to wait a little bit because Conan will be back with Aaron for King Conan at some point. But if you missed out on the Conan train and you want to know where to start with Conan, this is a jumping on point. This is how they're touting it. Jim Zub will be taking over the series. It'll be told in a different way.
Yep.
Jim Zub knows Conan inside and out.
Yeah.
So you're in good hands. You know what I mean? Like, guy knows how to tell a story. I'm interested to see his storytelling for this.
Yeah.
Because it can be really action-packed, like when he was working on The Savage Sword of Conan.
Yes.
Very action-packed, like just fun little adventure. When he did the Moon Knight Conan...
Oh yeah, the Sword of Khonshu or whatever,
The Serpent War book that had a lot more lore in it. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering where we're going to be falling with this. But this would be your point to jump onto a new series for Conan if you want to get in on the Conan bandwagon. That's where you...
Month to month.
Month to month. Otherwise, go back and pick up some of the other series because they've been great.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to recommend is a Hill House book.
Oh, what?
This one is called Plunge.
Okay.
It's written by Joe Hill with art by Stuart Immonen.
What?
Uh-huh.
I thought he retired.
Nope.
All right.
I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Right? This is going to be an undersea book.
Okay.
It's called Plunge, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's
like I am like, this is so what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like Basketball of Heads, very cool.
Yeah.
Totally cool. Different type of horror.
Right.
This, they're saying like in the aftermath of a devastating tsunami, an exploration vessel known as the Derelict begins sending an automated distress signal. Of course, it's been missing for 40 years. Marine biologists and some other characters are going to go to the remote part of the Arctic Circle.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm in. What are they
cool.
going to find? I don't know. Cthulhu. There's like some sort of, there's like tentacles and things.
Awesome.
In the title or in the logo for it. I'm so excited for this, and Stuart Eminem.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I mean, yeah.
You're like, I might have to just
Yeah, I
take
may
a
have
look
to
at
take a
that.
look at that. Yeah, no question. Christian Pereira, hello, ComicPOP. I don't remember in what issue, but I recall Moira telling Charles and Magneto to never resurrect an Oracle, aka Destiny or Blindfold, I guess. Yeah, we've talked about that. The fact is, like, yeah, no, Destiny's always been the thing that they're not going to resurrect. They have a conversation, I think, at the end
It's in Hawks.
It's in Hawks, where they say, Mystique's down. The only problem is she keeps wanting to resurrect Destiny, and they talk to Moira, and she's like, nope.
No, we can't do that. We can't ever do that. You promised me that, and we're never going to do that, right?
Yep. And they're going to do it.
They're
They're going to screw her over big time.
Right? Or she's going to trick somebody into doing it somehow. No.
No, what?
I was like, oh, could she trick somebody? No. No, because the two people that they would need to put the memories in there would be able to see through her even if she was pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Right. No. But, yeah. So there you go. Those are books to recommend for this week. Those are the books that came out this week. We also talked about that Batman look. Can't wait for more.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check this out on the repeat, I guess. And don't forget to check out everything else here on ComicPOP. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to get updates. Click the bell to be notified when we go live. I got mine. Did you? Click the bell to get those notifications. There was an update. There was an update that came out. Well, you got to open the app in order to friggin' get the notification. But like, I did notice that like there was an update to the YouTube app. Maybe it's better now. You can watch the show live as it's going.
Hey, ComicPOP's live.
Oh, great. Click it. You can catch us saying goodbye. But we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, this is how it goes. Monday, Off the Rack. Tuesday, Elseworlds Exchange. Wednesday, Back Issues. Thursday, It's Anything Goes. Good, Bad, and Ugly. Savage Screen. Letters Page. All those shows and more. So stick around. We're doing a lot of really cool stuff. I hope you're really going to enjoy it. And we'll see you guys next time. So thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye, guys.